Well, as promised, this is our short follow-up fireside related to one of the primary questions we keep seeing out there about the 26 or 27X, which is, if I pick this thing up, what are my options for holsters? In fact, on our range test video, we had a comment specifically where someone said, every time I find a video or some sort of discussion about these models, I ask the same question. What about holsters? No one has an answer. So we wanted to share our thoughts on that. We think we found a couple of potential solutions and maybe a little hack for a holster. So I want to share what we found with you. First of all, we'll go ahead and show that we're clear on this before we start to get into it. Good there. All right, so first off, you will see that Glock Store is advertising a holster option for this. Yes, we have ordered one well over 3 weeks ago. No, we have not received it. Went by the Glock Store to try to pick one up in person, not in stock. So can't really say much about it, but apparently it does exist. We've shown this option in a previous video. We understand it may not be the ideal option, but it could work. In a pinch, this is just a universal pouch style holster. It does fit, so again, it's functional. This could work, but we understand if you say, I'm just not really crazy about that, so what else is out there? Well, on the regular 27, also had this broken in or well worn outside the waistband leather holster that does fit the 27. It's workable as well because of course the leather has some give. So if you wanted to go outside the waistband, a leather holster might be a good option for you there. But we wanted to see, can we come up with something in the way of, a Kydex inside the waistband? And the problem that we're running into is really gonna be highlighted right here. Here's the factory frame. You'll see the difference in the underside of the trigger guard, that width, and also take a look at the extra real estate there on the rail. That's where we're running into issues on trying to sync this thing up with just a traditional 27 Kydex holster. But we thought, let's have some fun. So we ordered just a budget model off of Amazon. Came with the Kydex holster for 27, even included an extra mag pouch, so bonus there. So this is what we decided to do. How can we modify this thing? And we used a secret weapon you probably have laying around somewhere in the house, just a hair dryer, heat gun, either one will work. What we're gonna wanna do here is just put some heat on this material, really focusing our attention on this seam. We gave a little bit of loosening on the retention screw, not a lot, just enough to give it some room to breathe, and then really move and work the heat down along the seams and the edges here, all the way down to the end. You'll know when it's getting there, the material's gonna heat up. You probably have to hold on to the belt clip for part of that. Don't get stuck in any one particular area. You're not trying to melt anything. You're just trying to soften it up. And when it gets to that point where it feels like you think it's getting to be kind of pliable, there it goes. It did go ahead and seat all the way down into the holster. The only thing that we noticed was a little bit of gapping down here on the end because of the rail. While it was still nice and warm, our solution there was throw a clamp on it, hold it there until it cooled down. Once it did, this is the result. It does fit. The retention is actually pretty solid. It's holding in there pretty well. On the draw, it does have a little bit of friction, little resistance, but not bad. And honestly, that's really not a terrible thing either from a security standpoint. So we think that this is a workable solution. Now, we're not trying to endorse or promote a specific holster, but if you're curious which one this is, we'll let you know in the comments if you reach out. But in the meantime, we think this is something that can work until other options are available. Hope you found this helpful, and we'll catch you in our next fireside.